As Britain got ready for lockdown in March, in Salford, a young Vietnamese woman was about to break free.
There was no one was around to guard us. It was about 3 a.m. and I picked up a customer's coat and I left. And actually nobody chased me. I was just walking endlessly, and then I was so tired. Eventually I saw a young man. He was young, he was tall and slim. When I saw him, I actually knelt down and I said, help me, police, police.
Hien had been forced into sex work at a massage parlour by her traffickers. She'd already endured months of violence, being carried like human cargo via China to the UK. Last October, the issue of modern slavery burst into public consciousness when 39 of her compatriots were found dead in a lorry in Essex. Hien's journey was unrelated, but she was brought here by just the same method.
I was squeezed inside the gaps in between the boxes. We were told to try to hold our breath, not breathing. They did not give us drinks or food, nothing.
It's amazing that you survived.
Yes, I'm thinking the same.
Hien is lucky to have good support, but it's at this point many victims get lost in bureaucracy, waiting for months, sometimes years, to be properly recognised as a victim of slavery with the help that entails. And because Hien doesn't know where she was held, there is almost no hope of her traffickers being caught. This is one of the biggest modern slavery police raids in months. It's at a hidden farm in Enfield where the Met arrest 3 men and rescue 11 Eastern Europeans living and working in squalid conditions.
Hello mate, how you doing? How you doing? Do you mind jumping off there for me?
The National Crime Agency acknowledge fighting modern slavery has become even harder in lockdown.
So we know that many of the criminals saw COVID-19 as an opportunity. We know they changed their exploitation model, and we are working hard to understand where victims have been moved to and the areas they've been displaced into.
Modern slavery manifests itself in many ways, from nail bars and brothels, from car washes to sweatshops. Thousands of British children are caught up in county lines drugs trafficking. With the number of victims soaring, the UK's Antislavery Commissioner says the Modern Slavery Act has yet to deliver on its promises.
For traffickers, they see this as high reward, low risk, and that has absolutely got to change. We have to have more prosecutions and more convictions. What's interesting is that there are many more investigations now than there were 5 years ago, but we're not converting those investigations into prosecutions and not always converting the prosecutions into convictions.
The Home Office has pledged a renewed effort, better support for victims, and says the fight to get rid of this evil is just getting started. For the authors of today's report, it can't come soon enough.
Slavery isn't confined to our statues and our museums and our history books. The volume is enormous. They may not sit on ships and in chains most of the time, but the control and the brutality is no different. Sometimes it's even worse. So it's a modern problem. It requires leadership to solve it.
Hien may now be free, but can't help think of those still trapped she left behind. What would you like to say on their behalf?
Of course, they also have their inner beauty. They have their good souls. We just want to live. We just want to go out, have the freedom to have a normal life. I'm hoping that people can have the strength or the power to help and rescue those people.